McKay. Darren McKay in the center ice area, crossing and throwing it on in as Darren Pang comes out to take control. Feed it off to Randy Boyd, a second-team IHL All-Star according to a coach's vote at mid-season. Now Robinson in the center ice area for Milwaukee. Shoots the puck on in, past the goal guarded by Michel Dufour. Greg Tebbett wheeling the puck around the boards and out. So quickly back after it now for Milwaukee is number 22, Steve Blythe. Blythe will touch up, and we have an icing call against the Lumberjacks.
Well, Hal, this should be an interesting hockey game here tonight in Muskegon because the Milwaukee Admirals are a team with just 12 players and 2 goaltenders, while the Lumberjacks have 22 players, 5 of which are hurt. So Muskegon has a lot of players.
That makes Cliff Koroll rather disconsolate, as you
You're darn right. I'm sure he is very upset. This week they lost Jeff Larmer and Randy Frawley from the Admirals lineup, and it's been a tough go for the Admirals.
What a first year for Cliff Koroll as a coach in this league. Here's a shot toward the goal from the blue line. Darren Anhol taking the drive, but it was slowed down in time for Dufour to be able to recover and make the save and set up another face-off to his right. So we're going to have a change by Rick Lee. That's Michel Dufour down in the net for the Lumberjacks here in the early going. He stands 5'6" and weighs 160 pounds. Doug Kyle into the face-off circle now against number 18, Dan Kane for Milwaukee, and in behind the Lumberjacks net it goes. On the wing now, number 27, that's Ed Rossio. Now to Mike Rusin, a new addition to the lineup, to Doug Kyle for a drive, and that one deflects off Anholt and right up into the crowd. And while we have an opportunity to focus on Mike Rusin, number 25 for Muskegon, we should say, Steve, he's an old veteran of this league, has just returned.
Well, he's been in the International Hockey League the previous 7 seasons. He elected to retire last season after playing in Muskegon. He came back just this week as Mike Rusin was brought out of retirement by Lumberjack coach Rick Lee, and he's played just 1 game, but talking to Lee before the game, he was surprised as to how well Rusin played, and a lot of fans throughout the IHL know that Mike Rusin is one tough customer out there.
He's playing the point and has the puck right now as he lets one go off a leg wide of the net. And here's Marcel Frere, number 8, whom you saw in your picture moments ago, who played last year in Peoria. And he comes into the fray along the corner trying to dislodge the puck. It finally does come loose, but as it does, our referee Joe Prescott blows the whistle.
Well, there you see Marcel Frere, who knocked down the Lumberjacks rookie centerman Dougie Kyle. And Kyle, off to a slow start this year, has come on in the last 15 games. He's popped 17 points, scoring 10 goals.
Wonder how much of that was pressure from being such a super scorer in junior. He was 13th in the Western League as a scorer.
It's funny, a lot of guys in junior hockey can score goals, but that first year in pro, it's a little tough for them.
Tim Mully from the right point let one go that, again, hit a leg and never got through. So Perry Polinsky for Milwaukee sends it around to Frere. Doug Kyle comes up to forecheck as the puck is cleared out. Mully knocks it down, gives it back up to Kyle. Looking for Rossio, but it is picked off by Randy Boyd instead, and Randy Keith Boyd moves on into the attacking zone, only to lose control, and the veteran Neil Haridiu, number 10, on the rush for Muskegon with a blue line shot. Pang is there to make the block. It lay loose for just an instant. Kyle comes up but couldn't take control, and Mark Hatcher dishes off to Polinsky. It escapes the zone. Haridiu sends it back. But an offside call is whistled against again the Muskegon Lumberjacks.
Well, these two teams coming into tonight's game have played 5 times. I should say this is the 5th game of 11-game season series between the Lumberjacks and Admirals. The Jacks hold a 2-1-1 edge in this series so far. Muskegon is 1-0-1 in Milwaukee, while the two teams have each won a game here in the Walker Arena ice.
And for the most part, they've been close games, except the most recent outing in Muskegon right here, November the 23rd, when the Jacks prevailed 10-4. Everything going their way that particular day. Now in the center ice area, it's McKay sending it in. Anhold knocks it down for Milwaukee, and out ahead, number 15, Craig Hamala, whom we saw earlier this season here on Pro-Am Sports with the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. He wheels it around the boards. It's held in at the point and given right up to McKay. Push pass that is escaping Rod Shutt and all the way back into Milwaukee territory. Blythe behind his own goal. Steve Blythe, lead pass, and it bounced away from Hamala. So quickly back is McKay. He will win the race with Phil Patterson for the puck, and again an icing call, but this time against Milwaukee. So a bit of a slow start to this hockey game, not a very comfortable pace for the players yet.
There you see a couple of former National Hockey Leaguers, Greg Tevitt and Rod Schutt, both at one time played with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Greg Tevitt just has a tremendous amount of talent. Has played well for the Jacks this year. He was out at one point this season with a virus and missed about a weeks of action.
Here comes Tevitt, about whom Steve just spoke, sending the puck wide. And out will come Patterson on the wing. His pass at center ice got caught in traffic. Jock Callender knocks it down for Muskegon to Schutt. Now for Callender. Had a man open, Rich Zemlak, but he couldn't handle the pass, taking it on his backhand, so he's bumped into by his number 22 counterpart. That was Blythe. Callender and Anholt after it now, and Anholt comes away for Milwaukee. Still a scoreless tie. We've played 3.5 minutes of the opening period, and the puck is cleared to center. Now McKay knocked it down at center for Callender. Callender moves in, trying to center it, but Schutt couldn't get there before it was slapped away from him by Blythe, and back quickly Patterson driving one from outside the line, and a save Dufour. Now Callender gives it to Greg Tevitt. He surveys the situation as he crossed the attacking blue line. Drop pass to Scott Koroll. Koroll lined one up and drilled it wide of the net from a fairly sharp angle. And number 13, Tom McMurtry, cleared it all the way out. Back after it now is Darren McKay. Being watched from in front by big, tall Florent Robidoux. Still wants to do nothing with the puck until the play forms in front of him by his teammates. Callender sent it out, and Boyd gives it ahead to Pilenski. Up the middle for McMurtry. Has Robidoux open for the pass, and McMurtry backhands it wide from right in front and wide open. Robidoux lost the puck. He comes back toward the point. Hatcher has it and dumps it in deep. McKay going after it. He'll pick it off as the Lumberjacks wipe their collective brow over that play by McMurtry a moment ago. And at center ice, Hatcher flips it ahead. McMurtry can't handle the rolling puck at center, and so the Lumberjacks take it back. Mike Rouston over center ice, shooting it on in. Scott Koroll is first after it. Hatcher covers him. Hatcher up the boards. McMurtry breakout pass goes to Perry Pilenski. Up the middle with Boyd. Try to feed him the pass. It never got through, and Reinovich cleared the zone. Robidoux for Milwaukee put it right on the stick of Callender. Now to Krenzing over the line, shooting over top of the goal. Comes back down, and Koroll kicks it in for Krenzing. He's given a bump in behind the net, and it'll be picked off by Hatcher for Milwaukee. Give it to Robidoux, looking right wing for Pilenski. And an offside call as that pass covered two.
Once again, this time turn to page.
So there's the Lumberjacks captain, Scott Koroll, having a great season for the Jacks. 18 goals, 37 assists for 55 points in the first 38 games of the year. You know, I really think, Hal, that Scott Koroll's become a more complete hockey player this year. He's better in his own zone, and he's far more aggressive in the offensive zone, too.
We talked to him earlier this season here, and you were asking him about when is he going to score his first goal. It took him forever, but boy, once he gets that first one, he doesn't want to quit.
Well, he'll get you 35 to 50 each year.
Oh, no question about that. Here's Tim Molly for Muskegon to Doug Kyle, and he'll bounce it on ahead. Anholt gave it right back to the Lumberjacks. That's Dan Poudrier, number 6, in over the line. Poudrier looking back at the point for Kyle as the Lumberjacks set it up. Poudrier to Kyle, turning away from his check. Kyle still with it. Now is knocked down in front of the referee, but there'll be no penalty call. The puck is still not cleared. And now Herediu lost control of it, so it moves to center ice. Herediu bounced it in. Doug Kyle a couple of strides offside, and there's the whistle.
Once again, I'd like to remind all the hockey fans who are hoping to win that trip to Las Vegas tonight that your
The Admirals are still a little bit frustrated after that play that happened moments ago back down at the other end with McMurtry, who was set up by Robidoux so expertly, and boy.
And that was a classic case, too, on that play. We don't have a replay of it as of yet, but that was a classic example of a guy thinking he had a sure goal. The puck was on his stick. All he had to do was put it in the net. He tried to lob it in, and unfortunately missed it. Good break for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, well, as a goaltender, ex-goaltender in this league, you've seen one or two of those go by in your time as well, and you do kind of look to the heavens.
You sure do. You kiss that goal post.
Here is Randy Boyd again at center ice, bouncing it to Craig Homela. No score. We have 13:40 left in the opening period of this one from the L.C. Walker Sports Arena in Muskegon, Michigan. At center ice, Kevin Robinson, and he is checked by Tevitt. Tevitt for Muskegon, lofting it over the defense, and Hatcher will lope back after it. Up the boards, but it won't get out of the zone as Tebbett held it on in and gave it right back to the Admirals. Boyd breaks out to Hamala, one man back. And McKay comes up with a defensive play. Now ahead from Zemlak on a relay to Jock Callender. Callender with a drop pass in the slot. Shutt tried to return the pass and went behind Callender. Now back to the point for McKay. Sets up, has Shutt right in front. Now they continue to scramble after it, but it's kept in at the point after Boyd's failing at attempting to clear the puck, and Greg Tebbett recovers in the neutral zone. We have played over 7 minutes into this first period. Hatcher drills it down ice to create the whistle for the icing as McKay touches up, and still we have no score, but that may have been perhaps the Lumberjacks' best scoring opportunity today.
Yeah, it's surprising. The Lumberjacks this season here in Muskegon have always started out well. They tend to get in there and get a goal early, which puts the visiting team at a disadvantage. But you know, to Milwaukee's credit, they're playing their men very well. They're back checking, picking up their checks, and coming back into their own zone, and that forces the Lumberjacks less scoring opportunities.
Well, here's one from the point that is going to be rocketed toward the net by number 16, Peter Lube, a new addition. And Pang came up with a save and hung on to it.
Now, Darren Pang, the goaltender for the Milwaukee Admirals, as you get a good look at him there, has played 2 games here in Muskegon and has not seen under 40 shots. And he has a .500 record, a win and a loss. He's doing very well for himself this year. Coming to training camp with the Blackhawks without a contract and now finding himself in the IHL.
Well, the Admirals try to move the puck away from Pang, at least for the time being, and they do. It's Robidoux moving from the blue line into the attacking zone with a shot, and that went off the stick of Dufour and is right up into the crowd. All right, let's get on that subject of the 40 shots per game and ask you if that's supposed to be good for a goaltender to face that many shots. Will he develop quicker if he's having that kind of workload?
Well, down here in the minor league level, it is advantageous to see more rubber because you're just going to become a better goaltender by seeing more shots. But on the other hand, if you're seeing 40, 50 shots a game, the chances are you're going to start seeing 5 to 10 goals go by you, and that can be tough too.
Scott Gruel now gives the puck to Krenzing at center ice for Muskegon, number 7. Mike Krenzing bouncing it on in through the corner. Steve Blythe back of his goal and clears it out. Now it's Peter Lube over to Rusin and on ahead to Reinowich, and he'll bounce it on in toward the goal, but Anhold flagged it down. Leads now, underleads Dan Kane. It ends up down ice. Rusin back, he'll touch up, and one of the many icing calls that we had here in this opening period. And there you get a good look at the fellow about whom we were speaking earlier, Mike Rusin.
You know, Mike Rusin, he come back out of retirement, and in talking to Rick Lee before the hockey game, he said he was in pretty good shape, and Mike Rusin takes very good care of himself, and it doesn't surprise me that he can come right in and play a regular shift here.
Well, he certainly is a favorite wherever he has played as the home player, but the visiting cities don't necessarily take to him kindly. A shot by Molly never got through to the goal mouth there. He had hit a conglomeration of bodies in front, so Marcel Frere has an opportunity to break out for Milwaukee. Lost control of the puck. It's tapped on in, but the wall of defense of the Lumberjacks was able to thwart the rush for the time being. Mark Hatcher will take over for Milwaukee at center and shoot it on in. We played 8.5 minutes into this scoreless first period. Muskegon with a puck. Horidio around the boards for number 27, Rossio. And back in behind again for Molly to Horidio, playing the right wing, handing it to Doug Kyle. Kyle, who can really put points on the board, lost it on the drop pass at center ice. Now Horidio takes over, and with everybody on side, he dumps it in. Bill Patterson for Milwaukee will clear it all the way out. Daniel Poudrier is going to go back after this one as it stops short of the red line. And with the play forming, he'll throw it across to his defense partner, Molly, to Doug Kyle. Escapes a check by Boyd. Now Molly lost the puck. Coming back in with it is Robinson. His shot. That one goes over the net. And Rossio goes after it. Bounce pass in traffic. McMurtry takes it for Milwaukee. On the wing. His pass intended for McMurtry on a return from Kevin Robinson failed to click, so Doug Kyle comes back. Kyle underleads Shutt. Zemlak tried to bring it on in. The puck bounding away momentarily. Shutt trying to follow up for Muskegon as they battle the boards. Zemlak takes it away and then is checked by Anhold. Here's Callender for Muskegon. Back toward the point for McKay. A shot turned toward the net, but not quite to the net. Now Robidoux on a 3-on-2 rush gets the return pass from Robinson and went wide of the goal as McKay was there to cover it. They tangle up against the boards and hold on for the faceoff. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of Pro-Am Sports System and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our subscribers. Any use or reproduction of this broadcast without the written permission of Pro-Am Sports is prohibited.
That was a real good play by Darren McKay for the Muskegon Lumberjacks as he held on to Robidoux all the way into the zone, stayed right with him and took him out of the play and forced that face-off in the corner.
Now off the draw as the centermen take each other out of the play. It's Jock Kammeter coming back to control. On the wing, Zemlak. Zemlak from center backhands it in. Here's Schutt trying to battle McMurtry for it, but Darren Pang, the goaltender, came out and beat them both to it. McKay tries to hold it in, does. Kammeter flips it to Schutt. Schutt coming out of the corner is turned around by Blythe. Still has the puck, and Blythe took it away from him momentarily, but Schutt's got it back. Now Rod Schutt turning away from two Admirals deftly. Put it off the stick of Kammeter. Now rolled it in front. McMurtry trying to regain control of it to Robidoux. No score as the Admirals try to clear, but they can't. Tebbett held it in at the point. Turned away by the forechecking being done by Kevin Robinson, and now chasing across ice for it is Schutt. No score with better than half of this first period having been played. We have 9:15 remaining. Greg Tebbett out of his own zone, one of the few players in the league that chooses to play without the headgear. To Kammeter, racing by Frere is Kammeter. Now circles in behind, still has control of the puck nicely, whips it back to Tebbett on the point. His drive, and that one goes wide. Now McKay shooting off of a leg, and it rolls out to Frere, and he'll just throw it over on the center ice area to Dan Kane. Now on ahead it goes to Frere. With some help, the shot goes wide by Polensky, and going after the puck, Frere and Tebbett, they bump together. Jock Kammeter away with it to Reinowich. He failed to handle the pass, and now up comes McKay. To Polensky, he's given a bump at center ice. And across for Frere now as the Admirals work it out. We see no goal scoring and no penalties thus far in this first period as Randy Boyd comes forward. Boyd, surrounded by the predominantly white jerseys, lost it to Reinowich, and here come the Lumberjacks in again. Reinowich with a wrist shot off of a stick, went over the net. Up now comes the defenseman. That is Lube. Tried to center it, picked off at the side by Dan Kane. And Kane clears. Now with 8 minutes to go, the Jacks throw it on in, but inadvertently, Peter Lube shoots the puck up into the crowd.
You can see the Muskegon Lumberjacks starting to take control here in the latter part of the first period of play. 7:59 left, no score as of yet, but the Lumberjacks seem to get their momentum going a little bit. Their passes are a little bit better. They're starting to get better scoring opportunities, and they should be taking advantage of the fact that the Admirals only have 10 players, or check that, 12 players and 2 goaltenders.
Now as they work along the boards, it is Rusin being given a bump. And it'll be picked up by Krenzing. Now to Gruel. Gruel in for the Lumberjacks. Heavily guarded as he shot the puck way wide of the goal. Up comes Lube, sending it back of the net. Knocked down by Blythe. The breakout pass picked off. The Jacks have a chance from the slot area. Gruel going after it from Muskegon. Now Blythe runs into Krenzing in back of the net. Chasing it down is Gruel. 7:25 left in the first period with a scoreless tie on the board. Here's Blythe going after it in the corner for Milwaukee, giving a bounce pass ahead past Patterson down ice. Lube will take over. So here is Peter Lube with a pass that missed Horidiu, travels the length of the ice, but the linesman will wave off any possibility of icing. So Peter Boyd lost the puck. Randy Boyd lost it in behind the net. Rossio tried to put it in, but he wound up hitting the side of the goal, goes after his own rebound. Now sets it toward the net, and this time Darren Pang elects to hang on. 6:54 left in this first period of play as the Lumberjacks play before a good-sized crowd here, and Steve, that has been a certain trend this season. In fact, better so than anywhere else in the IHL is the attendance rising in this building.
They're up almost 100% over last year as far as an average. They're doing just a whale of a job putting people in the stands, but it helps. One big thing helps, Hal, a winning hockey club. They have it here in Muskegon.
All right, now here the Admirals try to escape the zone, but Mully is there to stop that play from forming. Doug Kyle for Muskegon with 6:42 to go, shoots it on in. Chasing it back down now is Hatcher, that should be, along with Kyle. Now Boyd and Horidiu bump together, and it's sent around the boards for Robidoux, and he's given a headlong check by Mully. Now Kane overskates the puck at center, and Neil Horidiu comes back to take it for Muskegon, moving for a blue line shot off of the blocking pad of the goaltender Pang. Now along the near boards, they're going to try to wrestle to dig it loose. Heredia manages to do so. It ends up back of the goal for Hatcher. The native of Detroit, Mark Hatcher, to Robidoux. Up the middle for Dan Kane. Charging in with McMurtry. Gives him the puck. McMurtry with a shot on net. And Dufour comes up with the save. Now Rossio, a flip pass to center ice. And Anholt will take control. McMurtry's had a couple of good scoring opportunities here in this first period. Anholt sends the puck in, and back after it quickly is Shutt with 5:50 to go. Still a scoreless tie. First period from Muskegon as Rod Shutt moves to center ice. This game has started to move along now once the icing calls have subsided somewhat. Shutt in the corner escapes Craig Ahamala's grab. Taking the shot, it goes wide, and now McKay from the point lifted a shot off of a stick that bounced in behind. Anholt gives it to Blythe. Blythe up the ice for Milwaukee to the center ice area. In with number 19, Perry Polinsky on the wing. Ahead of the play is Polinsky, an offside call whistled against the Admirals.
The Milwaukee Admirals coming into tonight's game have an overall record of 10 wins, 26 losses, and 5 ties. They are in the basement in the IHL's West Division. As we get a look here at this last scoring opportunity, as they came in nicely over the blue line. Now the pass on the right side, and letting the shot goes McMurtry, and look at that save by Dufour. Came out on the angle, stood up, fine save by the Lumberjacks goaltender.
That didn't look all that hard, but I think it was a little harder than it looked. Here comes Jock Callender clipping the puck out to center ice as we have just barely over 5 minutes to play in the first period. Now Hamala goes left wing and gets the return pass. Hamala, as they converged around him, surrendered it to Zemlak. Richard Zemlak to Callender, trying to go around the defense. Can't do so. Boyd is there to check him. Randy Boyd with a clearing pass that ends up traveling the length of this ice surface, 200 feet long. Will not be an icing, though, as Dufour beat the man to the puck and broke his stick in the process when he collided with Polinsky. So in goes Zemlak with a drop pass to Shutt. Shutt walking right in for the shot, and a save made by Pang with the left arm. And I think that one might have stung him. He looks like he's wincing down there. You can almost see that through his face mask. Now it's center ice again. It's the Admirals moving. Robidoux is checked by Zemlak. Nevertheless got the pass forward to Robinson. Kevin Robinson scores!
Well, Kevin Robinson with a fine individual effort. He was set up perfectly by Flo Robidoux, and he walked around the Muskegon Lumberjack defense and went in and put a backhander by goaltender Michel Dufour for his 23rd goal of the year, and it gives the Admirals a 1-0 lead as we see Robinson right there go around McKay, and he went in and let the backhander go, and it slid right between the legs of Michel Dufour, and we have a 1-0 hockey game as the Admirals are on top with 4:19 left here in the first period. And once again for Robinson, that was his 23rd goal of the year, a team high for the Admirals.
So Robidoux and Patterson pick up the assists on the Robinson goal at 15:41, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee. So going back after the puck in the Milwaukee zone now, number 8, Renowich for Muskegon. And his pass escapes Lube at the point. So Lube goes all the way down after it, being pursued by the Admirals' number 14, Kevin Robinson. Back they come again are the Lumberjacks. This is Gruel with the puck, trying to go around Anholt, centering it right on the doorstep of Pang. Another chance, Krenzing with a drive. Pang came up with 3 saves on one sequence.
Well, Mike Krenzing probably had the best chance of all for the Lumberjacks as he tried to get it over the little goaltender's shoulder. This guy is only 5'5" in street clothes, and as we see it again, Gruel coming over the blue line, the right winger cutting in and letting the pass go across. Now here's Gruel with a shot, one stop, Krenzing with a shot right there. Just a great stop, and Pang pounced on it and kept the Admirals in there.
So it's still a 1-0 game. We looked at perhaps a tie, but Pang would have none of it. Now the Lumberjacks attacking again. Krenzing's shot turned away by the defenseman Hatcher. So back quickly is McMurtry after it. Cleared it around for Boyd. Now on the wing for Polinsky, can't get it out. It's Krenzing holding it on in, stops, Wine shoots, and it's caught by Pang about mask high. And for Pang, mask high would be about, what, shoulder high on some other guys.
Darn right. You know, he came to Chicago's camp this year and was an unsigned draft choice. A free agent, was the most valuable player last year in the Memorial Cups out in Eastern Canada. And the Chicago Blackhawks signed him to a 1-year contract with no option, and he has proved himself worthy of another look next year. He has played very well for the Admirals.
Now here's Boyd, but a false start on the faceoff. face-off will do her again. 3:24 still remains in period number 1. Only 1 goal, and thus far no penalties in the hockey game. So once we, as I mentioned, got through that icing situation where it seemed like they were happening every 30 seconds, it's been a pretty streamlined game for a while.
Not much as far as body contact, really. A few checks here and there, but surprisingly, Muskegon is not as aggressive as I thought they'd be tonight, trying to take advantage of the fact that Milwaukee only has 12 forwards.
A couple of heavy collisions behind the net, but other than that, you're right, nothing as far as body work thus far. Here's Kyle moving on the left side, and he's being tied up by 2, Kane and Boyd. Now Kyle maintained control, sent it back and behind for Rossio. Rossio with a centering pass. Kyle drilled one, and falling in front of that was Boyd, smartly to deflect it away. Now it's left there for Boyd from number 19, Polensky. The puck hopped in the air for just a brief moment. It's centered for Kyle. He's checked in front of the net by Hatcher, and out come the Admirals, Polensky. Pass for McMurtry, tried to bull his way around Molly, can't do it, so Dan Kane goes in. He's hooked down by Haridiu, and the puck came free to number 6, Poudrier. 2:37 remaining in this first period. Milwaukee leading 1-0 as Kyle goes rink wide to Rossio. Now to Kyle, and offside is Haridiu by at least 5 feet, so that is the offside whistle you heard. There is McMurtry, who has the only successful penalty shot taken in the IHL thus far this season for Milwaukee, number 13.
Well, in 41 games for the Admirals so far, McMurtry has 15 goals, 14 assists for 29 points.
2:28 remains in period number 1. A face-off win for Callender, and is driven by McKay in back of the net. Pang held it in there and gives it off to Blythe. Now on the wing, it goes to number 17, Phil Patterson. Patterson comes up over the blue line. He's checked by Tebbett. Still has the puck falling. The save made by Dufour, and now he gets help from Callender. On the right wing, he's got Shutt on his left as Callender tries to breeze by Anholt. Centering pass, and McKay was too well covered in front. Patterson, a lead pass to Hamala. He couldn't hang on to it. Shot in by Zemlak on the delayed offside call. The Admirals will work the puck out, so we won't have a whistle. Anholt bouncing it on ahead with under 2 minutes to play in period 1. Tebbett gives it off to Shutt. Shutt on the wing, over the blue line, fakes the shot, tried to go around Boyd, and then shot it wide of the net, so it's left in back of the net for Robidoux. 1:35 left in the first period as the Milwaukee captain moves out with the Admirals in front by a goal, which Robidoux set up. Puck sent on in, and now McKay behind his own goal for Muskegon will take control, and the Admirals make the change on the fly. And Zemlak taking the lead pass, sending it across. It's stopped at center by Robinson. Now a shot by number 13, McMurtry, is blocked and held onto by Dufour after a little juggling action.
That was a good save by Michel Dufour, partially screened on the play. He just got his glove on it and wisely jumped on it to force a face-off. Muskegon has to come back down the ice and get a goal here with just 1:13 left in the period. They're down 1-0. They need something to give them that spark going into that second period because, you know, your home ice should be your best place to play, and they've played well so far this year, but still, this is the place to play, your own rink.
Here comes Hatcher letting one go, and that one bounced down. It'll be picked off and worked on by Krenzing, number 7. He gets some help from Rusin, the defenseman, to Hrinowicz, number 8. A minute to go. He gives it to Krenzing, and Boyd took it away and cleared it out, so Rusin will hustle back after it. Down to 50 seconds left in the period. It's Mike Rusin behind his own goal now. Ahead to Scott Gruel. Now Hrinowicz takes the pass, moving on in with Boyd back, and Boyd deflects the shot away. Pang takes it off the boards and hangs onto it. And to expand a little bit on the point that you're making, Steve, about the home ice, Muskegon very successful this season here at the Walker Arena, but take a look at, conversely, the Admirals on the road. 3 wins and 19 losses. There is one of the big stories. You have to win on the road to be good in this league.
Exactly. On the other hand, Muskegon should lose to a team like Milwaukee, who has only won 3 times on the road. And the Lumberjacks tonight have a great opportunity to possibly gain ground on the Flint Generals, who are on the road down in Peoria.
So in behind the net, Blythe, as we're down to 35 seconds to go. Steve Blythe with a lead pass that goes through. Frere cleared it, and the Lumberjacks recover. Hrinowicz given a bump by Polensky as the puck came free to Rusin. Now to Hrinowicz, and it bounces in for number 22, Blythe. Now Blythe, his pass overshoots Hamala, ends up right on goal. Dufour Pushing it ahead for Reinowich, has Krenzing, and now open on the wing is Gruel. Tried to go around Anholt, who covered him, tied him up against the back boards with only 5 seconds to go, and finally the referee, Joe Prescott, whistles play down with only 3 seconds left and time perhaps for one more shot on goal by the Lumberjacks before the first period's history.
Well, Daryl Anholt manhandled Scott Gruel into the boards, and you know that's a pretty tall task because Scott Gruel, very solidly built, 5'11", 200 pounds, so a very, very strong skater, and Anholt just tossed him into the corner, made a very fine play.
So Kyle is matched up against Hamala in the face-off circle with only 3 seconds remaining in this first period of play, and the Admirals holding on to that 1-0 lead given to them midway through. A shot by Molly goes over the net as the horn goes to conclude first period play. So not much statistically, just 1 goal and no penalties, and once we got through some of that stop-start action in the early going, things started to become streamlined and we had a pretty good period of hockey. So as the teams leave the ice here at the LC Walker Sports Arena in Muskegon, Michigan, after 20 minutes of action, it is the visiting team that goes off in front. The Milwaukee Admirals 1, the Muskegon Lumberjacks no score. We'll be back with more IHL hockey coming up here on Pro-Am Sports in just a moment. And it's the road team leading right now, so it's been kind of a puzzling series from that standpoint. The home team is not dominated. Here's Richard Zemlak as the second period underway, sending it in behind the Milwaukee goal. Randy Boyd is there, wheels it ahead, and missing the pass was number 14, Robinson, the only goal scorer of the game. It's sent it offside against the Muskegon Lumberjacks. The whistle is blown. So there you see Randy Boyd. We touched upon it briefly in the first period. He is one of the all-stars, at least second team all-star selection of the 9 IHL coaches who voted at mid-season, and the only Milwaukee representative. Now in the center ice area, the puck sent back into the Milwaukee zone. Pang gives it off to the defenseman Boyd, about whom we just spoke. Robinson missing the outlet pass. It ends up going down the ice, and racing back after it is the veteran Mike Rusin to touch up with the icing call.
Well, the Muskegon Lumberjacks have to get a goal here early to set themselves up as far as tempo is concerned here in the hockey game. Randy Boyd is, as you take a look at Mike Rusin coming back to the Milwaukee blue line, as the face-off will take place to the left of Darren Pang in the Milwaukee goal. As they started earlier, the Lumberjacks need a goal. They are just sluggish here, and a goal probably would perk them up.
They've got Callender, Zemlak, and Shutt on the ice now to try to get the defenseman Rusin and the newcomer Peter Lube. And it's Lube with the puck trying to send it in. Missed on the first chance as it hits the defenseman. Lube moves in for Zemlak, and Pang makes the save. I don't know if he saw that one, Steve, or not coming at him, but he came up with a save nonetheless.
I don't think so. That was just a case of being in the right place at the right time. As we see the replay here, here is Zemlak walking right in. Now, the pass was fed out, and he just stood there and reacted to his right and made the stop and fell on the rebound to hold the Admirals in there. Once again, the pass off in front and the shot right there, and you're right, Pang really didn't see it coming, just stood up. A wicked shot by Zemlak.
Tebbett lets one go, and Pang turns that one aside. So Scott Gruel goes after the puck, and the Lumberjacks applying early pressure here in the second period. Craig Hamala being forechecked by Tim Reinowich as it's taken by the defenseman Blythe, and he'll clear it to the line and over. Tebbett tried to keep it in, but failed to do so. So again, an offside call, and Steve, we're starting the second period just like we did the first with a host of whistles.
Well, that can hurt the home team because the visitors are coming in to play a brand of hockey that's, they try to slow the tempo down while the home team tries to take control. Muskegon would be wise to start dumping the puck in and chasing it and forcing the Milwaukee defensemen, who are already shorthanded, to working harder in the game.
Anholt behind the net goes right wing to Polinsky, and he's out with it. Perry Polinsky along with Hamala and Anholt sending the puck in, high fly ball if you will. Dufour taking the puck and electing to take control behind the net and just hang on to it before the Admirals can dig it loose as they started to converge.
Well, the Muskegon Lumberjacks just picked up a new player this week. He's Peter Lube. He was loaned to the Jacks from the Quebec Nordiques of the National Hockey League. Last year, Peter Lube played in Sweden and started the year in Fredericton of the AHL, went up to the NHL, and now finds himself in Muskegon as we get a good look there at Lumberjacks left winger Tim Reinowich.
And he has been quite an addition to the Lumberjacks this season. Seems like just about everybody Rick Lee is adding's coming up, well, smelling like a rose for him. Here's Anholt bouncing the puck in toward the goal, but Krenzing is there to flag it down, and the Lumberjacks will move away as Frere is up for checking along with Hamala. Darren McKay back of his net, bounced it to Tebbett. Now on the wing for Reinowich to Gruel. He's got Krenzing with him, but he can't hang on to the pass. Blythe took it away, coming back in for Milwaukee, and escapes behind his own goal and clears it out. We played a minute 45 of this second period, 1-0 for Milwaukee, as Gruel lets one go wide of the net past the outstretched glove of Darren Pang, who immediately cleared it out with a big goal stick. Now Tebbett bouncing it on in over the defenseman's heads. Blythe clearing it around the boards. And it's Hamala on the rush, accompanied by Marcel Frere. Hamala stops, knocked flat by Gruel, and Gruel's going to get the game's first penalty when play is halted, but it goes on right now. Anholt at the point takes the shot wide. After it is Kane. Dan Kane holds it in, gives it off to McMurchie, tries to hold it in. Kane can't, so the play goes on in the center ice area with a delayed penalty still coming when Milwaukee surrenders the puck, which they haven't done yet, and now they do. McKay touching up, and Gruel is going to go to the box for tripping.
Well, there's no question in my mind about that call. Scott Gruel, as we're going to see a replay here, coming across the line is the Milwaukee player. And there's Gruel getting the stick out there and tripping up Milwaukee's Craig Hamala. And so the Admirals will have the first power play of the hockey game. 1-0 Milwaukee on top. The Lumberjacks coming into tonight's game have given up 25 power play goals. And I checked that, 27 power play goals and 126 attempts for a 21.4 completion percentage by the opposition. So the Lumberjacks here have to kill off a power play. 17:26 left in the second period. 1-0 Milwaukee on top.
We're seeing two teams who do not have potent power plays. Milwaukee ranks 8th in the league, only ahead of Muskegon. Here is Molly clearing the puck up to Haradiu. It is not held in, and the Admirals' power play has to move from center ice again as Randy Boyd bounced it in wide of the goal. Dufour knocks it down, and Molly drills it up the boards, right past Dan Kane. So Boyd will chase it down. We are coming up on 3 minutes having been played in this second period. Haradiu steps into his check, but Boyd maintains control. The Admirals with the power play and the 1-0 lead here in the early going in the second period. Boyd firing it around the boards. It comes loose. McMurchie, number 13, left it there in the corner. It's cleared to the point and held in by Boyd. Now looking on the wing for Kane. McMurchie, covered by Molly, has the puck in the corner. Tom McMurchie is checked by Molly. The puck is loose, and it's cleared by Kyle all the way out and down the ice. So it will waste away still more time in the penalty, which has 1:05 to run. 1-0 for Milwaukee as they move up ice to center Hamala. Nice move on Rod Schutt. Now he drills it to Boyd, and then behind the net it goes. Molly clearing it out. Kane can't hold it in, so that again wastes penalty time. Pang up for Boyd. Schutt is there to check him and try to put some pressure on for the short-handed Lumberjacks. Rod Schutt doing some diligent forechecking down there. Now he surrenders the puck back of the net and going back after number 17, Phil Patterson. Patterson, who started the year wearing number 57, gives it to Robinson. Now Kane in for the shot, and he didn't get all of that one. It went wide. A shot wide on the rebound by Patterson. Comes around the boards. Racing after it is McMurchie, and he holds it in. And now the puck deflected down ice by Schutt. So we're down to only 15 seconds remaining before Muskegon gets back to full strength. Dan Kane winding up in his own zone with 15:35 to go in the second period. Drops it back to Hatcher. 1-0 Admirals as the penalty time has a nickel's worth of seconds to go. Now it's McMurchie under leading on the wing with a return pass for Patterson. Out of the box comes Gruel, as you see. Now both teams are at full strength. Blythe for Milwaukee moves out to center ice. Gruel hanging on to him. Now it's sent on in, and McKay goes back. Clears it around the boards and gets it right back. Can't hang on to the pass, and up comes number 19, Polensky, giving it off as the Admirals move on in. Frere behind the goal, looking in front. He had Patterson, but he's got Tebbett all over him, so Patterson goes in, and Zemlak checks him. Now Frere back of the net, dives after the puck. Polensky plays it. In for Frere. Darren McKay's got him checked, so Perry Polensky is in. He avoids a hit from Zemlak. Just was grazed by number 22 of the Lumberjacks. Continuing to work the puck is Polensky to Anholt. Anholt shoots one, deflected on net, but the save is made. Patterson redirected and Dufour stayed with it. Patterson's got it again, walks in and fires. Dufour with another big save, and Scott Koroll will move out for Muskegon. 1-0 the Admirals as they tried hard for number 2 right there, but Koroll back to the other side now, centering it, and it's driven over the net by Krenzing. Now around the boards, Perry Polinsky. Krenzing steps into him. They'll tie it up and hold on for the faceoff.
Well, you know, Hal, the Milwaukee Admirals have been taking the play to the Muskegon Lumberjacks. And, you know, I've played in a few games like this where you've been down and everybody seems to pull together. You're short hockey players and you go into a rink on the road, let's say like the Admirals, and have just 12 skaters and a couple of goaltenders, and they're doing a fine job of it. I'll tell you, they are taking it to the Lumberjacks here tonight.
Perfect example right here.
Let's take a look at these two fine saves by Dufour. First right here, we see him walking right in, the right winger with a good shot. Now the save is made, and the rebound goes out, and it's cleared away from the net as Michel Dufour made a nice stop there to hold the Lumberjacks in there. They trail 1-0, 14-11 left here in the second period.
Krenzing chased from the face-off circle opposite Homilus, and number 24, Scott Koroll, moves in instead. Now the Admirals away with it. Hatcher on the wing to number 14, Kevin Robinson. On ahead now, McMurtry dumps it in, and racing back is Tim Reinowich. Left it there for number 25, Rusin. Around the boards, Boyd will flag it down at the point. Takes the wrist shot off a body and wide of the net. Now it's cleared up to the line, but not out. Hatcher threw it in front. McMurtry in front. Backhands it over top of the goal. Now after it, Kevin Robinson. It winds its way in behind and comes around the boards for Reinowich. 6:20 gone in the second period. 1-0 for Milwaukee as the Admirals try to defend on the Lumberjacks rush. Krenzing moving on in, avoids the hit. Now Hatcher steps into Reinowich, turns him around, holds on to him. Koroll takes control in the corner. Lost it for a moment as they continue to jostle. Krenzing goes in, digs it away. Krenzing away from Hamala. Mike Krenzing, back of the net, centers it for Koroll. Now past Lube, who was moving in from the point and wound up not being able to hang on to it. So Peter Lube starts it back to Krenzing. Krenzing trying to move on in for the shot. Pang rejects it. Now number 14, Robinson again. He has the game's only goal. 1-0 Milwaukee as Robinson moves in. Is thwarted by Lube. And now the pass goes through to Scott Koroll. Koroll up with number 27, Rossio, who is checked by Blythe, who beats him to the puck. Blythe clearing the zone. 12:40 remaining in the second period as Neil Haridu drills it on in. Pang left it back of his net, and Blythe comes back to take it, and Pang elects instead to send it up to his winger. Polinsky now to Kane. One man back is Molly. Kane moving on in, stick handling, and Molly stayed right with him. Gets some help now from Poudrier, and Poudrier will clear the zone. Up to play it is Molly. Now to Kyle. Doug Kyle in over the blue line, trying to get around Anholt. He does, centers it for Rossio, and he could not hang on to the puck in the corner. They go down into the face-off circle area. The puck came loose. Anholt will take it, and the Admirals have an opportunity to rush the puck again with that 1-0 lead on the board. Now they'll make a change as Anholt dumps it on in. They elect to move in and forecheck. It's Doug Kyle, leaving it there right on the stick of Kane back of the net, but he has no teammate in front. He sent it instead to Kyle, and a relay pass to Haridu. Haridu bolting down the wing with a backhand. Pang kept that left leg tight against the post and gave him nothing to shoot at. Polinsky avoiding a hit by Rossio. The puck sent around the boards. Frere is going to clear it out. 11:30 to go in the second period. Now the puck is loose, picked up by Patterson in on a breakaway, and he's hauled down by McKay, and a penalty to Muskegon, and that has to be classified a good penalty because number 17, Phil Patterson, was in alone.
Well, Phil Patterson walked in alone and went around McKay. And I watched a mistake here while we missed it as McKay coughed the puck up. Patterson streaking across the blue line, but McKay was second effort, came back and tied him up, and you got to take those penalties as he dragged him down, and he's off for holding, prevented a possible. Let's take a look at McKay's pass right there. Bad pass into the center of the ice, broken up, and there you see Patterson coming away, but to McKay's credit, he came back and pulled him down from behind as Patterson tried to cut in on the backhand, and like the
like
Football players do.
Yeah.
Tackled him down.
Yeah, I would say a couple of the 49ers safeties might be wanting to take care of Mr. Mark Duper like that a little bit later on. 11:23 to go in the second period, so the second power play for the Admirals is about to begin. They misfired on their first try. Randy Boyd with a drive, and it's Dufour rejecting it. Hamala goes after the rebound, left it in the corner, and it's Peter Lube. Bouncing it ahead, Polinsky's got it. Kicked it forth, and now it's going to be played again by Lube to Krenzing. Krenzing taking the shot, and Pang comes up with a chest-high save and hangs on.
Well, Mike Krenzing came across the blue line, let go a good shot on Darren Pang, who made the save and held on. Krenzing last year led the Lumberjacks, who were then the Muskegon Mohawks, in shorthanded goals with 5. And Mike Krenzing, a very big offensive threat, even when he's killing penalties.
So we'll get a face-off coming up. Krenzing set to go against Craig Hamala. 1:40 in the power play remaining. Milwaukee with the puck and the lead, 1-0, and the man advantage as well. Polinsky into center ice area, pulls back now as the wall of defense starts to form, and he gets around Rusin, who tried to hook him down. It came loose. Rusin back after it to Lube. Lube bounced it off the crack in the boards, actually the gate area leading to the Zamboni, and it was a help as it deflected the puck out to center. Now Boyd, he's hooked down at center by Reinowich, and Lube takes the loose puck, sends it ahead for Krenzing. He's got it in his skates, and now he finds it and overskates it as Hamala was there to bother him. So at center ice, Lube shoots it on in. It'll bounce wide with a minute exactly remaining now in the power play to Milwaukee. Out comes Boyd with a lead for Kane. 10:20 in the period remaining. It is 1-0 Milwaukee for Polinsky now on the right wing for Hamala. Gives it to Boyd and gets it back. Now to Boyd once again. Down the middle, he scores! Power play goal, and it's a second of the game for Kevin Robinson.
Well, Kevin Robinson was left all alone and camped in front of the Muskegon Lumberjack net. Now watch Randy Boyd. Great shot here as he lets it go along the ice, and Robinson all alone in front deflects it in as he moved away from Greg Tebbett and tipped it in as we see another angle. Back to the point it goes. Now he throws it across to Boyd. Boyd winds up, lets it go along the ice. Just a great shot there. And it was tipped in, and the Admirals with the power play goal lead it now 2-0.
It happens at 9:55. It is Robinson from Boyd and Hamala. Now in comes Zemlak, and Pang is there. The puck is loose. Pang finally lies on top of it. Right in front of the goal, we see number 15, Jacques Callender, and I was just about to ask you, Steve, if Callender was hurt. I had not seen him on the ice prior to this particular shift right now.
You know, I didn't see anything in the first period, you know, concerning the fact that he might have been hurt, but Jacques Callender is a very talented hockey player. He's done a great job here in Muskegon this year. Really like him. He's good with the puck. He can pass well, and quite possibly he could have been hurt in that first period.
He's on there now to take the face-off. He's skating in between number 19, Rod Schutt, and number 22, Richard Zemlak. 2-0 now. The Admirals are leading them here in Muskegon. And again, it's been a series that has been somewhat controlled by the visiting team. Here is Hamala trying to slide it on through. It'll be taken by Dufour, and he leaves it in the corner. It's kicked ahead. And coming back after it is number 15, Callender. Now a long lead pass goes to Schutt. Schutt clears it on in. Callender going in along with Anholt after the puck. They work it along the boards. Callender digs it away, looking for Molly at the point, but instead it's cleared by Frere all the way down ice, and it'll be Tebbett getting back there. There will not be an icing call. Up the boards it is taken by Schutt as the Admirals change on the fly. He inadvertently puts the puck right on his net, so Dufour has to stop the puck off of his own teammate. Here's Callender to Schutt. You won't see the ex-NHLer Schutt do that very often. Here's Schutt pulling up, handing to Callender. He's stopped by Hatcher, and now it's Patterson clearing it. Less than 9 minutes to play in the second period of a 2-0 game for Milwaukee. Zemlak finds Callender. Band on the shot in front zone is cleared by Boyd. It's going to wind up being a shot wide of the net. Poudrier will touch up for the icing call.
Boy, Jacques Callender had just a golden opportunity to give the Muskegon Lumberjacks a goal as they trailed 2-0. There you get a shot of Daniel Poudrier, the rookie defenseman for the Muskegon Lumberjacks.
35 points in 64 games in Drummondville in the Quebec League for Dan Poudrier last season. 8:41 to go in the second period. A 2-0 score, and it's been Kevin Robinson's show thus far. Goals 23 and 24, one in the first, one in the second period. That's all the scoring. Dufour comes out of his own goal. Up on the wing, Haridiu. McMurtry is up to check him. And Hatcher keeps the puck in. Right off of the skate of Lube, and now the lead pass goes through to number 27, Rossio. He skated right by it. Now regains control, gives to Haridiu. He is being ganged up on by 2 defensemen. And the puck ends up on the open wing to McMurtry. Now back into Boyd, and he'll send it ahead. The Admirals on the rush. It is shot on in by Polinsky. Kyle goes back. Exactly 8 minutes left in the second period of this 2-0 game for Milwaukee. Kyle wings it for Haridiu. Haridiu, a drop pass right in the slot. It's going to be Poudrier setting and shooting one wide of the net. Molly up from the other point with a shot that is knocked down by McMurtry. He has control of it and lofts it high in the air. This one is going to bounce off of the overhanging girders and back down. So the play is whistled dead.
Muskegon Lumberjacks just can't get anything going as we have 7:42 left here in this second period. 2-0 in favor of Milwaukee. Muskegon, Hal, just can't break loose. They can't get the passes into the opposing team's zone to send in on breakaways. They're not forechecking all that well. They just seem to be sluggish, tight.
Yeah, and Daryl Pang has certainly been a force in the nets for Milwaukee. Here's a chance for Tebbett firing one. Pang turned it away, and up comes Tim Mully, moving into the corner and back of the goal now. Still has the puck. Molly finally looking for Hrinowicz, but it was taken away for a moment. Now Molly steps into his man. Hrinowicz takes it back. Tim Hrinowicz for Molly as the Lumberjacks try to apply some pressure. Puck comes around the boards, and it's finally cleared inadvertently so up into the crowd by Hamala. We're talking about Pang, Steve. He has a 4.19 goals against average coming into this one in 24 games, yet he is 7-13-3. That's kind of a low goals against average for a losing record like that.
And not only that, this guy has faced a lot of shots this year, and the Admirals, bothered by the injury problems on their defense and call-ups to the Chicago Blackhawks, Darren Pang has played very well.
Clearly, we've seen good goaltending at both ends of the rink for the most part tonight. Here is Molly trying to center it. Still has it on the second try. Gives it to Scott Gruel. Now bounces in back for Molly. Molly in back of the goal with Anholt working on him. It comes to the point for Tebbett. Greg Tebbett with a weak backhander, and it goes wide. Krenzing chases it down. Now Gruel back of the net. He lost it. It's cleared out, and Molly can't hold it in. So with 6:40 left, the puck slides all the way out and down ice. Tebbett's going to beat Robinson to it. And the result is an icing call against Milwaukee.
You know, we've been talking about goaltending in the International Hockey League. I think the IHL has always had good goaltenders. You can go back into the early 60s. Former National Leaguer Jimmy McLeod played here in Muskegon. In the 70s in Muskegon, Glenn Resch played here. This league has developed a lot of goaltenders right now. Bob Froese with the Philadelphia Flyers.
Doug Keene's in Boston.
Doug Keene's in Boston. Pete Peters in Boston. This has been a very good league for developing young goaltenders.
Poudrier put one on net, and Pang is there to get a little more experience in the form of another save. Up comes Polinsky as he tries to barge by Rusin. They both wind up hitting the deck. And Zemlak takes it away. 6:20 left in the second period. 2-0 Milwaukee as Zemlak dishes to Rusin. Now Callender. Callender being hung on to by Frere as he gets rid of the puck. Going back in after it is Randy Boyd. And Zemlak steps into him and winds up falling. Around the boards to Polinsky. He's covered by Schutt. Schutt bouncing it toward the point. Rusin's got it, and then he lost it as Frere was able to deflect it away, and Poudrier recovers, gives it to Schutt. At center ice, now back in for Poudrier with 5:45 left in the second period. It's still 2-0 Milwaukee, and the puck cleared all the way down the ice. So it'll be Boyd going back to play it. The linesman having waved off the icing call. A long pass, and that one overshoots McMurtry. Again, they wave off icing. So the goaltender Dufour plays it up to Haridiu on the wing. Now on the relay pass, it winds up back of the net, so Tebbett takes it. Again, the Admirals make the change as the Lumberjacks bring it forth. Greg Tebbett in the center ice area. Tebbett, who played with Pittsburgh 24 games last year, barges on through, right in front for the shot, and Pang comes up with a save. What a remarkable rush, though, by Greg Tebbett.
Boy, just a tremendous individual effort by Lumberjack defenseman Greg Tebbett, and equally fine in nets. There you see him, Darren Pang, coming up with the big save, as Greg Tebbett, right there from his own blue line, weaves his way towards the Milwaukee line. Now watch the move here. The big guy goes around the defenseman, standing right there, now cuts in on his backhand. And as Anhalt gets back, Boyd coming across, misses, and here's a shot by Tebbett, and look at the stop there by Pang.
So we're back live again with Blythe. An all-outlet pass goes through to number 17, Phil Patterson. He's trying to cut in from an angle. Dufour came out to make the save, and the play stops. We have goaltending really at both ends of the arena tonight that certainly is deserving of a lot of praise.
And Michel Dufour has played well in the Muskegon net. He's been a pleasant surprise because earlier in the year, Brian Ford was playing most of the games, was called up to the American League. Dufour came in, has done a fine job. 11-9-2 on the year with a 3.55 goals against average.
So a change for Muskegon as Rick Lee sends out the new complement of players. Number 17, Doug Kyle, centering. He's in the face-off circle with number 18, Kane, for Milwaukee. Poudrier up the boards for Rossio. Held in and shot by Blythe. Rebound, another save by Dufour on number 14, Robinson, who was looking for the hat trick. Now Hatcher out ahead with a pass that Rossio intercepts and clears in. It'll bounce to the net. Pang gives it off to Blythe, back of the net. And it's cleared past Mully the length of the ice. This will be icing when Daniel Poudrier touches up. And play is called. 4:28 remaining in the second period of play with a 2-0 score in favor of the Milwaukee Admirals, and it has been Kevin Robinson with both of the goals.
You know, Flo Robidoux, who played so much in that first period, has not seen a shift here in the second period for Milwaukee, as Robidoux is their leading scorer.
He's on the bench.
He's on the bench, but has not played a shift.
Yep. So it's Hamala again.
You know he's not benched because he's playing bad. They only have 12 players.
Oh, he's got to be hurt. He's got to be hurt.
Yeah.
Now it comes back to Lube, setting up, can't get anybody out of the way, and then drills one wide of the net, so back after it's Polinsky. Pass is held in by Lube, and now Hamala's got a man breaking. That's Frere, and what a play defensively by Poudrier to break it up. So here's a chance for Lube to send the puck ahead. Poudrier with a round of applause certainly earned from the fans here at the L.C. Walker Sports Arena, which was accorded for his breaking up the possible breakaway. Boyd will shoot it on in. Here comes Dufour way out of the net to clear it away from the onrushing Marcel Frere. And Lube will just send it ahead. Under 4 minutes left in the second period. 2-0 Milwaukee. Doug Kyle moving to center ice. Wings it now from Molly, and he'll bounce it on in. Molly has been playing on right wing. He's normally a defenseman. Puck cleared up in the air and up into the crowd. Boyd's attempted pass hitting Kyle's stick.
Well, there's Randy Boyd, who has been a tower of strength tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals. Of course, seen a lot of service, as the Admirals have just 12 skaters and 2 goaltenders, and Boyd was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks organization from Pittsburgh last year and has played some with Chicago this season.
So the lineup at center ice, or at least in the face-off circle, for Muskegon, Krenzing. Kane for Milwaukee as they jostle after it. Blythe has it. Blythe ahead for Robinson, kept in momentarily and then brought out again. Blythe to Kane. He'll drill one from outside the blue line, wide of the net. 3:25 to go as the Admirals converge and now bounce it on in back of the net. Kane racing after it. He left it in back of the goal for McMurchie. Too well covered by Rusin. Now to Gruel. Gruel carrying to center ice, and he'll charge on in. The captain of the Lumberjacks trying to put a move on Blythe. Goes away to the corner after the puck. Blythe took it away temporarily. McMurchie clears it to the line and over. So the Lumberjacks have to get onside as we get back to under 3 minutes to play in the period. Rusin drilled it in. Now in the corner, they tangle after the puck. Reinowich works it to Gruel, back of the net, trying to wrap around. Pang saves, and on the rebound they score. It's Reinowich.
Well, it was Tim Hrinowicz getting the goal off the pads of Darren Pang. Just a fine play was made by Scott Koroll on the play, and the fans here in the Walker Arena excited about that one as we see Koroll fighting off a checker, coming out in front, and look at the backhander. Off the pads, across the crease, Pang with no chance as he dove across, and Tim Horinovich, the Pittsburgh Penguin farmhand, fired it home. It's 2-1 now in favor of Milwaukee as Koroll again around behind, tries to stuff it, and Horinovich, Johnny on the spot, rams it home, and now it gives the Lumberjacks a 1-goal disadvantage.
Well, it's now a 2-1 score as Hatcher tried to give it to Boyd. He left the point for just a moment, and the puck escaped the zone. Now Boyd trying to freeze it. He does. The scoring on the goal is Horinovich, his 10th of the year, from Koroll and Rusin at 17:13 of the second period to make it 2-1.
That could be the goal that the doctor ordered for the Muskegon Lumberjacks, Hal, as they needed something all night long to give them a spark. They have just been sluggish, not seeming to put anything together. This could be a key goal in the Lumberjack cause.
Lube at center ice for Callender, and he's looking for a teammate. Boyd is there to break it up. Now to Hamala, gives to Frere. Now it's again Lube making the check on the play in the center ice area. Up comes Zemlak, in over the line, barges through, but the shot on net is rejected by Pang, and he held on.
Well, the Milwaukee Admirals have to be getting tired because the Lumberjacks have a full complement of 17 players, and the Admirals have just 12 and 2.
Yeah, and it looks like the pace is picking up a little bit too. In the early going, it appeared like the slow pace was advantage to the Admirals, as you had alluded to. Now it looks like the pace might work to the Lumberjacks' favor.
And Rick Lee doing a smart thing, changing lines very quickly, getting the fresh lines out there, causing the Admirals to get tired.
There's a chance that is deflected toward the net. Pang makes the save. Going back after it, shut along with Kane. Finally, it is Callender being tied up by 22 Blythe for Milwaukee as they dig it loose back of the net. Fans screaming for a Milwaukee penalty will get no satisfaction here from referee Joe Prescott. As up comes Anholt. Anholt leaves it for McMurtry, partially fanned on the shot. Back of the net it goes. It comes loose toward the point. Held in by number 19, Polinsky. Now to Anholt. Shot comes up to tie him up with a minute and a half left in the second period. It's 2-1 Milwaukee. In goes Zemlak now as they surround him. Zemlak bounced it in and now gets help from Callender. Back of the net going after it is Dan Kane, and he'll just clear it all the way down ice. It'll slide wide of the net and create an icing whistle. Greg Tebbett touching up.
Well, the referee made a very questionable call, as you see Lumberjack veteran Neil Herilio, a hard worker out there, as the referee making some questionable calls, or no calls, it should be said.
As they say, he's saying boys will be boys, let them play until they do something really bad, I guess.
And of course, the Muskegon fans don't like it because Milwaukee has yet to receive a penalty, while the Lumberjacks have had 2.
Fans have kind of been sitting back waiting for something to happen. That Horinovich goal might be able to spark them a little bit.
The crowd is awfully quiet. Here in Muskegon, they're pretty boisterous, and but tonight they're rather subdued.
1:13 is all that we have left in the second period of this 2-1 game for the visitors, the Admirals. Hamala and Kyle joust for the face-off. It comes back. Poudrier's shot hits a couple of sticks before going toward the net. Rossio lost the puck, and now in the corner. They continue to battle after it. Randy Boyd swoops in to take over with under a minute to go in the period. It's cleared ahead over the head of Tebbett. Back is Poudrier. Bouncer ahead. And it'll be played by Horidio up the boards for Tebbett. Chops it ahead. Kyle's got it with one man back. It's Boyd. Kyle from an angle. Wines drills one. Pang is there. Just absolutely not giving ground. And the puck is cleared out. We'll have play whistle down. Hold on. Behind the play, we have one of the officials down. Slow getting up.
Well, the linesman.
That's Mike Carter, the linesman.
The linesman, Greg Tebbett, ran into the Milwaukee player Patterson, and the linesman was along the boards and literally got steamrolled into the boards. And I tell you, he does not have any padding on it, with the exception of possibly some shin pads. And well, I tell you, when you have a guy like Tebbett and a man the size of Patterson, Phil Patterson of the Milwaukee Admirals, those two guys crashing, and that's about 425 pounds of beef running into you.
Well, as you see, Mike Carter still trying to shake off the effects. Apparently, the majority of the Payne is centered on his left leg.
Well, you know, that's a thankless job, being a linesman and a referee, or an official for any matter in any sport. They're underpaid, and they take most of the abuse and most of it undeserving, and it's a tough job to do.
Yeah, you're right. No one ever does say thank you for doing a good job after the game, but you sure hear plenty if they don't do a good job.
Oh, you're darn right. Of course, you know, I think you have to be a type of person that likes that for some reason. I don't know. You have to be a very secure person to be a referee or a linesman, because, like you say, you never get any credit.
So we're getting ready for the face-off in a moment. Scott Koroll shaking his head at the proceedings. The face-off positioning, I think, is where his major beef comes from, as they have it just outside the Muskegon blue line. And Tebbett comes away with it with 35 seconds remaining. Now on ahead for Krenzing. He'll push it through for Koroll, but stopping it at the blue line was big Mark Hatcher. Now Kane dumping it on ahead. Tebbett can't field it. Frere does. Frere can't center it, though, because Krenzing knocked it into the corner. Now ties him up. Frere kicks it free to Polinsky. Looking for a man in the slot. Goes in behind again. Now chasing after it. Krenzing bumping his man. That's Frere. It's dug loose for Tebbett. Only 7 seconds remaining as Tebbett's clear-out pass. Too far out ahead. Koroll falling over Hatcher's stick, and it's a penalty with only, matter of fact, at the 20-minute mark. We haven't had the horn yet, but we have had the clock run out. Interference will be the call.
Well, that's going to be a great opportunity in the third period for the Muskegon Lumberjacks, as they'll open the third period with a power play, trailing 2-1.
So Hatcher's interference penalty at the 20-minute mark closes things out for the second period, as you see the teams heading off. And the scoring, well, each team traded a goal, so it's still a 1-goal difference as they head off the ice with the visitors in front. The score after 2 periods of play from the L.C. Walker Sports Arena here in Muskegon, Michigan, is the Milwaukee Admirals 2 and the Muskegon Lumberjacks 1. And we'll return with more International Hockey League action here on Pro-Am Sports in just a moment. Third period starts with the Lumberjacks enjoying the power play. Boyd sending it down ice to Dufour. Scott Koroll in behind his own goal. He was named to that IHL coaches all-star team that we spoke about earlier at midseason. He was the only player named on all 9 coaches' ballots. Here comes Canada dropping it to Rod Schutt, letting the shot go, paying the save. Tebbett with a drive, and that one whizzed wide of the goal. So Scott Koroll goes back after it now, as we have gone through the first 30 seconds of the period and the penalty to Hatcher. Power play number 1 for the Lumberjacks as it transpires. The Lumberjacks clicking at an attempt, a rate of 18%, slightly better with 25 power play goals. Here's Payne out of the goal, bouncing it to the line, but Koroll held it in. Now Zemlak missed it, so here's Blythe and Schutt going after it. Schutt for Muskegon left it, and Randy Boyd for the Admirals, given a heavy hit by the defenseman on the play, and now the puck is cleared to the line. Tebbett let one go wide. Schutt banned on the rebound, and it's cleared by Kane.
Well, that was a nice clearing pass by Kane, but a couple of nice stops by Darren Pang in goal. Boy, he's playing a fine game for the Admirals.
He may be the single reason, biggest reason why the Admirals are leading right now. Here's Krenzing moving up the ice on the wing, trying to fly on through there and set up something as he did in the only other goal that Muskegon has scored. Krenzing takes over with 38 seconds in the power play remaining and gives to Doug Kyle. Now to Krenzing again, and back to McKay waiting at the point. Now to Krenzing one more time, to McKay. Setting and shooting, and a save by Pang. Here's Tebbett up from the point, turning away from McMurtry, giving to Kyle. Kyle out of the corner with 20 seconds in the power play remaining to Tebbett at his skates. He lost it. Boyd clears it up in the air. It bounces down. Reinovich held it on in for Krenzing. Krenzing waiting in the slot to Tebbett, taking the shot. It goes wide. All the way back to the point now for Darren McKay, and up to Kyle. Kyle walking into the slot, feeds up alone. Krenzing scores!
Well, Mike Krenzing ties the hockey game with the power play goal, and he made just a nice move in front of the net there as Darren Pang tried to poke it away. Now here's Kyle with the puck. Boyd comes out to try and poke it away from him, can't do it. Now Krenzing just waits. Pang takes himself out of the play. The backhander just gets in, and the Muskegon Lumberjacks have tied this hockey game with a power play goal. It's 2-2.
And we'll mention that power play only had 1 more second remaining, so Krenzing just got it in under the wire, and it is a 2-2 tie, as you mentioned, Steve Miskevich.
Well, you know, the goal comes here in the first 2 minutes of play, and the momentum has shifted shifted the other way as the Lumberjacks, with more troops out there, are taking over.
Doug Kyle and Darren McKay on the assists at 1:59. The power play goal ties it. Now it's drilled in by Schutt. Back after it, Kevin Robinson, who owns both of the Milwaukee goals. Now Molly driving it on through, and coming back out of his goal is Darren Pang. Leaves it on the defense, and it's cleared up the wing. Now along the boards as they battle for it, it comes back to Poudrier. Dan Poudrier with a shot. Pang saved it. Came back to Kevin Robinson. Now to Polensky. Gives it to Phil Patterson at center ice, and his shot gloved almost in nonchalant fashion by Dufour. Out to Neil Heredia, and his bounce pass eludes the intended target, which was Jock Callender. Now Patterson back on the defense. This is Daryl Anholt turning away from the forward Heredia. Anholt is going to figure eight it in his own zone with 3 minutes gone in the third period. 2-2 tie now, and at one time it was 2-0 Milwaukee. Doug Kyle giving it to Mike Rusin as the Lumberjacks start fourth. Rousio losing the puck to Randy Boyd. Trying to maneuver around Molly, but Rousio takes it back, and the little forward scoots it rink wide to Kyle. He'll tap it on through, and behind the net's Darren Pang. Now up the boards, Tom McMurtry with a clearing pass that Kyle failed to flag down. So again, it is Muskegon with the puck. Lube having trouble on the defense, just down from Fredericton to the American Hockey League. Peter Lube, number 16, carrying on into the Milwaukee zone to Rossio, and he took the shot wide as he was bothered by McMurtry from behind. Mark Hatcher up on the wing. The pass intercepted. Lube overskates the puck in the slot. Here is McMurtry with a clear-out pass. Now Scott Gruel bouncing it ahead for Kyle. Hatcher was there to bother him. Gruel comes away with it, working off a hook check. Gruel faking the shot, moving on in deep, and he's poke checked by Randy Boyd. Now with play whistle down, we are going to have the ruling by referee Joe Prescott that it was a hand pass along the board, so play stops and they'll face it off in Milwaukee territory.
15:55 left in regulation time. 2-2 tie between the Milwaukee Admirals and the home team Muskegon Lumberjacks, as the face-off will be to the right of the Milwaukee goal. The Admirals really are giving a good account of themselves here tonight, Al, because they have withstood a lot of pressure, especially this last half of the game, or last half of the second period.
Off the draw, Reinowich lifts one over the net, right up over the glass and into the crowd. So there's Tim Molly. I tell you, I've seen him in a couple of fights this season in other IHL action. All he has to do is lean on somebody and they're down on the ice. He is huge.
Well, he stands 6'7" on skates. They've got him up on right wing. He's one big tall guy to move out from in front of that net.
Well, he tries to move in front there, but Pang rejects it on that particular play, and Hamala gets rid of it back of the net for Steve Blythe. Now to Anholtz. Around the boards it goes, picked off by Polensky, lead pass to Hamala. Hamala in with Robinson, and it's rejected by Greg Tebbett on the defense. 4.5 minutes into this third period. Tebbett moving on in with a drop pass to Krenzing, shoots one, and I think that Pang just got a piece of it with a goal stick. Reinowich threw it around back of the net, and coming around the boards after it is Polensky. Now it's left back of the Milwaukee goal. Daryl Anholt stepped into by Molly. Now it's number 7, Krenzing, looking for a man in front. Molly is in traffic, still has the puck with that big size and strength. Pass in front, though, fails to click, and out it goes to Robinson. Robinson moving in for the shot, a weak backhander. Dufour turned it aside. It's held in, though, by the Admirals as Polensky has it. Reinowich all over him. Now back of the net, Robinson. He's has the puck kicked away from him by Krenzing, and then McKay helps out as the puck squirts loose to Boyd, waiting at the point. Randy Boyd firing it up the board. Polensky is bumped into by Tebbett, and the puck came loose to Reinowich, and he'll clear it out. Now Gruel tried to beat Hatcher to it, couldn't do it, and Hatcher for Milwaukee dumps it back in. Now Darren McKay ahead for Schutt. In traffic, Schutt takes it again to Callender. Callender getting set for the shot wide of the net as the defenseman was screening on the play. Schutt kept it in again from the point, moves to the slot, takes the pass in front for Callender. Pang made the save, and the cross-ice pass to Tebbett. Now moving on in is Tebbett, right in front of the goal. He's hooked down. There's no penalty call, and moving out is Milwaukee's number 17, Phil Patterson. Setting up at the side of the goal, rolled it in front off the defenseman, and smartly and calmly, Darren McKay shovels the puck to his goaltender for the cover-up.
Well, the boos you hear in the background are not that for the goaltender Dufour, it's for the referee Prescott, as here we see the replay as the Admirals move in as Patterson centers it out in front. Now, the puck is stopped in front by Shutt. It lays there. McKay shoves it to Dufour, who wisely falls on it, as Dufour had a little bit of lady luck with him there, as you see Greg Tebbett a little upset about the fact that he was dragged down from behind in the play that was preceded this rush into the Muskegon zone. As we've got the face-off to the left of the Muskegon goal, 13:52 left. It's all tied up here in the hockey game, 2-2.
Robinson with 2 goals for Milwaukee, and it was Reinowich and Krenzing with the goals for Muskegon. Krenzing with a goal and an assist in this game. So Dan Kane, number 18, setting up in the face-off circle against Krenzing now, who's number 7 for Muskegon. Muskegon in second place in the East Division of the IHL, while the Admirals languish in the cellar of the Western Division and still trying to figure out the formula for winning on the road. They've only won 3 away from home in 22 outings. One of them, though, was here in Muskegon. Lube sends it up the boards, and out comes Krenzing. The puck got away from him. Steve Blythe takes over and fires it on in. 13.5 minutes left in the third period of this 2-2 tie. Muskegon moving out with the puck now. Number 6, the puck carrier, is Dan Poudrier. Crossed center and drove it in for Gruel to take the rebound. Tried to center it, but is knocked away by the defenseman Anholt. He's covered by Reinowich. In goes Krenzing to dig it out. Krenzing in back of the net. Reinowich goes to the opposite corner after it and gives it to Gruel, and then stepping in front of the pass, Kane. However, Gruel's got it again. Bounced it out for Poudrier, who kicked it toward the goal. It ends up in the corner. Scott Gruel put it out to the side, and it's Anholt up the boards, and it gets past Lube to center ice. Now the pass from Poudrier failed to click with Krenzing, but Reinowich takes it and backhands it in with 12:45 left in this 2-2 tie, at least in the regulation time. If it stays tied, we'd go 5 minutes sudden death overtime. Rossio at center ice for Muskegon gives it ahead for Haridiu. Neil Haridiu, and he's stopped by Blythe along the boards. They still go after the puck. It bounces free to Kyle in the circle. He's poke checked by Patterson. Kyle maintains control of the puck with some nifty control work. Now sends it to Haridiu in traffic. The puck bounces free. Held in at the line, though, by Big Tim Mully. Rolled it in front. Rossio failed to turn it in. Haridiu scores!
What a nice goal that was by Neil Haridiu. He was on his off wing. The left-hander on the right side. Now watch Kyle. Kyle's the guy who made the play. Behind the net, nice backhand pass in front, and Neil Haridiu just shoves it along the ice into the goal, and the Lumberjacks coming back from a 2-goal deficit lead at 3-2. As we get a look at it here, look at that pass by Kyle. Out in front, Haridiu right there, wasted no time, and Darren Pang without a chance watches it go by, and so 12:10 left in the hockey game, 3-2, Muskegon on top.
7:50 the time of the goal for Haridiu, his 11th of the year. Doug Kyle and also Ed Rossio picking up the assists. So here's Callender for Muskegon deep in his own zone, and the Lumberjacks with control of the game and the lead after being down a couple early on. Rod Shutt had it stolen, shot back in by Hamala. Deep in the Muskegon zone is Mike Rusin. On a cross to Lube, and now it comes to Callender. He's got Shutt on the wing open. Feeds him the pass. Shutt drilled, and he scores!
Well, that's a major league shot if I ever saw one. Rod Shutt came across that blue line, and you can see why he scored darn near 30 goals one year in the NHL. Look at the shot. It might have hit the defenseman's stick, but nonetheless, it went up into the upper left-hand corner of the net. Just a picture-perfect goal, and suddenly the Lumberjacks get another one, and it's 4-2 in favor of Muskegon.
Rod Shutt gets his 18th of the year, and it happens at 8:22. Jock Callender will pick up an assist on the goal, as will Zemlak. So a 4-2 lead now, and it certainly is the Lumberjacks game right now, momentum-wise. Dan Poudrier at center ice now, clearing the puck ahead. Randy Boyd picked it up for the now badly undermanned Admirals. Tebbett on ahead to Reinowich, and he's given a bump by Boyd in front of the penalty box area. Boyd was checked by Poudrier. It's stolen, and back comes Scott Gruel streaking on in. Gruel is shot. Pang makes the save. It's still loose. The side of the goal. Hamala with it. Coming down to 11 minutes to play as Hamala barges in over the line for Milwaukee, drops it past to Mary Polinsky, all the way back to the point now to Anholt, lets one go, and Dufour got in the way. A centering pass now. Poudrier intercepts, feeds Gruel. Gruel looking for some help now as he pulls up to escape Blythe, and Blythe steals the puck. Blythe letting one go low on the net. Dufour the save. Doug Kyle feeds Rossio, who's just off the bench. 10.5 minutes to play now. Doug Kyle in over the Milwaukee line. Doug Kyle had it poke check, but the trailer is McKay. He dumped it on in front of the goal. It's chopped ahead by Blythe, and now Kyle can't field it, so the teams have to get back on side, and Muskegon who does. However, they lose the puck. Blythe sent it down ice. McKay will race back to play the puck now. Darren McKay around the boards for Heredia as the Admirals have scored 2 in a row, and then the Lumberjacks have answered with 4 in a row. And the Admirals take it back again as number 14, Kevin Robinson, gave it to Anholt. Now to Dan Kane on the wing. He let one go wide of the net. Rossio takes the quick rebound and passes to Heredia. Lost the puck at center to Randy Boyd. And now Rossio steps in as Boyd's checked down by Heredia. Puck cleared ahead by Hatcher as they play it at center ice. In goes McMurtry with a shot now, and it's saved by Dufour. With 9:35 to go in the third period, and the Lumberjacks ahead by a couple, 4-2. Now Doug Kyle just sends the puck softly to center ice. Mark Hatcher gives it off to Robinson. He'll bounce it on ahead. Hamala lost the puck, and McKay goes back after it. McKay in behind the goal. Bounce pass. Boyd can't hold it in. So the Admirals on the rush again. Frere, the puck carrier, with 9:08 left. Zemlak there to check him. Canada goes back, and he's bumped into by Hamala. They freeze it along the boards and get the whistle.
Well, you know, you have to take your hat off to Cliff Koroll and the Milwaukee Admirals as they came into this hockey game badly undermanned. But you know something? They have given the Lumberjacks a good run for their money so far, and even though they have lost a 2-goal lead and now trail by 2 goals, the game is still within reach.
9 minutes and now just a bit under left in the third period. Callender with a breakout pass meant for Shutt. Patterson knocked it down at center ice. Now it is Rusin stopping Frere from being able to barge in over the line. It's number 22, Blythe, for Milwaukee, on across to Anholt. He gives it to Hamala. Hamala getting set for the shot. Dufour calmly grabbed that one and held on to it. So as they converge around him, Dufour will just hold on to the puck.
Hell, one thing the Muskegon defense is doing now here in the later stages of the hockey game that they weren't doing earlier is they're forcing the Admirals to shoot from farther out. Most of their shots now are coming from the blue line to the top of the face-off circles, and as you saw there, Dufour made it just a routine stand-up save, and you can just see where the Muskegon Lumberjacks are just getting stronger in all phases of their game.
We only have 8:38 remaining, and now we'll wait and see. Steve, would it be a little too early to say the Lumberjacks might go into a defensive shell at this point, knowing the lack of manpower on the Admirals side?
That could have an effect on the game, but I don't think so. I think Muskegon's too fired up right now.
Well, back of the net, Greg Tebbett for Muskegon. He'll start it out with a pass on the wing for Gruel, and he relays to Callender. Shoots it on in. Randy Boyd goes back after it. Randy Boyd, a clear-out pass. Hamala lost it. It bounces free to Polinsky. He just kicks the puck in right to the goal. Dufour down to block, and he'll hold on.
Well, you thought it was going to happen later on this afternoon, the Super Bowl there, a field goal, as the Milwaukee player just kicked it into the Muskegon zone.
Uwe von Schaman's had kind of an off year for Miami. Perhaps they're looking in the direction of the Milwaukee player, Polinsky.
Well, after this game, you better get on a plane quickly and get out to California.
8:10 left. It is Callender against Kane. And in behind the Muskegon net it goes. Krenzing will pick it up. He's given a heavy shove into the boards as the puck's dug loose by Poudrier to Callender. Callender for Muskegon with under 8 minutes to play, wristing it in. Here's Koroll and Hatcher going after it. Hatcher, the big Milwaukee defenseman, takes control of it and boards it for Polinsky. Harry Polinsky out with a handoff to number 14, Robinson. Let one go. Dufour made the save, and I don't know, that perhaps might have dipped on him a little bit. It looked like it did.
Well, the puck did drop a little bit, but Dufour, staying on his feet and keeping his pad closed, just used that stick glove, which is commonly referred to as a blocker, and knocked it to his feet and fell on it. As the two teams make line changes, Muskegon battle back from a 2-goal deficit. They lead at 4-2 with 7:43 left in the hockey game.
So Marcel Frere will be matched in the face-off circle against Rossio. And it comes to Molly. Molly for Muskegon, who has played a forward position the majority of the evening despite normally being a defenseman. Frere throwing it back into Steve Blythe. Blythe headmans it for McMurtry. His shot on goal is blocked by Dufour. With Molly taking control, the Lumberjacks have the puck and the 2-goal lead, 4-2. Heredia with one man back, charging in the wing, let a backhand go to Pang, and Pang will hold on to that weak one.
You know, Neil Heredia has been around for a good long time. He's been playing professional hockey for 8 years now, and I'll tell you, he just keeps working, and that's why he stays on hockey teams. Originally signed with the New York Islanders in the National League, played a good many years in Indianapolis with the Checkers, and he's been a fine player for Rick Lee in the Muskegon Lumberjacks.
Kane wins this face-off now as Milwaukee tries to move out of its zone, and Darrell Anholt, the puck carrier, to help him do it. To Dan Kane over the center red line, and he'll fire it on through as we're coming down to 7 minutes to play. Peter Lube, the defenseman, now hands it to Ed Rossio. Muskegon up with that 4-2 lead and advancing the puck. Rossio's shot is blocked by little Darren Pang. Now to Darrell Anholt. Behind the goal, Hatcher. Hatcher with a high flip pass. This one will travel the length of the ice, but it'll be Milwaukee's player down after it first, so the goaltender Dufour smartly sends it ahead. Rossio to Callender. Up with Heredia is Jock Callender, number 15, taking the shot. Oh! Pang absolutely stretched as far as his 5'5" frame will allow him to pull that one in.
Well, let's take a look at that one again, as it was Jocko Callender coming across the blue line from about 45 feet out. Let's go the slap shot, and look at that glove save, just like Jacques Plot.
6:30s or Steve Miskevich during one of his better games.
Not too many, I'll tell you.
How many people do remember Steve Miskevich's better games? Look at that save. 6:36 to go. It comes back to number 25, Rusin, letting one go wide of the net. Here's Kevin Robinson clearing, not out though. It's held in by Lube, and then he gave it right back to Robinson. Kevin Robinson in over the line, going around Rusin. Robinson taking the shot, and Dufour had the angle covered. So Callender comes back with a pass to Shutt. 3-on-2 as they move in. Callender, and he's hooked off the puck by a Hatcher. Comes Shutt once again, giving it to the point man Poudrier. A drive, Pang a save, puck cleared by Boyd all the way down ice. Icing the call when Tebbett reaches it with 5:57 remaining, 5:56 to go in the third period.
There's a good look at Greg Tebbett, the Lumberjack defenseman, as he moves back up ice to the Milwaukee zone. Tebbett has had an up and down year, really. Around Christmas, he was out with a virus, was hospitalized for a while, and has returned. Hurt his knee Wednesday night in Indianapolis, but is playing here this afternoon for the Lumberjacks.
So it's Krenzing set to face it off against Kane once again for Milwaukee. Linesman Mike Carter drops the puck, and it comes back to Poudrier. The shot hit off of the defenseman up to make the play on it, but then ends up back of the net again. Here's Reinowich being covered by Anholt. Puck loose. Kane cleared it right in front. Koroll, and he couldn't quite get there before McMurtry chopped it away. Anholt has his man covered, Reinowich, and out for Milwaukee is Kane. Now Blythe with 5:33 to go. Steve Blythe wrists it on in. A little too high, winds up shoving itself right over the glass and out of play.
Hal, you can see the fatigue on the players of Milwaukee's bench as they start climbing over the boards. A little bit slower getting onto the ice, a little bit slower getting off, as they hang a little bit on the boards. It's got to be tough. You know, I think if Milwaukee would have had a full complement of players coming in the early going, they could have scored a few more goals and made life a little bit more miserable for Muskegon.
Well, no question they missed their captain, Florent Robidoux, who wound up being injured in the first period after setting up the game's opening goal. Now back into the Milwaukee zone they go along the boards as, boy, we got Rousseau taking a heck of a hit from the stick of Perry Polinsky, and that'll earn Polinsky 2 minutes in the delay penalty nature after Muskegon gives up the puck. If in fact they do, they will. McKay sends it in. Hatcher is there to knock it down. So we've got a high sticking call to Perry Polinsky as he gave Rousseau a two-hander right across the back of the shoulders.
Well, there's no question on that one. Perry Polinsky just brought that stick around like a bat. And watch it here as you see Polinsky take the stick, work him over there. Now, Rousseau gets the elbows up a little bit, the little guy, and then here it comes. Right there, and knocks him to the ice. And so the Muskegon Lumberjacks will have the power play. It'll be their third of the hockey game. They lead at 4-2 with 5:03 to go in the hockey game.
Each team has one power play goal in this one today. Now Heredia clearing it back of the net. Up comes Boyd to clear it. Past Tebbett down ice. Under 5 minutes to play now with the score still 4-2 Muskegon after the Lumberjacks had battled back from a couple of goals down to an undermanned Milwaukee club. Here comes Boyd moving in. There's another penalty call coming up. Koroll goes over and touches the puck, and now we'll get the penalty call for slashing. Put by referee Joe Prescott, and heading over to the penalty box will be Heredia.
Well, I'll tell you, Neil Heredia took the slashing penalty, and again, there's no question as he just brought that lumber around. And so that'll nullify the Lumberjack power play, a short-lived power play, as Scott Koroll circles and moves off the ice. And we're going to have a face-off coming up in the Muskegon zone with 4:38 left. 4-2 Muskegon on top.
Koroll had himself a rather shortened season last year because of a knee injury, 56 games worth, still wound up with 96 points. And he's back up there in the scoring parade this year at the top of the heap of his club, 55 points in 38 games. Koroll is going to take a rest, though, now as the Lumberjacks try to continue to hang on to that lead. Now in back of the net for Muskegon. The puck comes around the boards. Boyd holds it in, takes the shot on net. Dufour calmly gloves it to Callender. 4:25 left in the third period. Now it's taken by McKay. Boyd tries to hold it in, failed to do so. Now gets it back. Randy Boyd in the center ice area for Milwaukee. Backing up, shooting it on ahead. There's McKay chasing it down. Darren McKay with a pass that's stopped by Kevin Robinson. Now McKay once again. Ahead to Schutt and back to McKay. Under 4 minutes to play now as the Lumberjacks try to salt away a victory. Puck goes rather softly to the net. Pang for Milwaukee making the play. And up come the Admirals in the 5-on-5 skating situation. Hamala feeds Boyd, try to move in. McKay knocks him down. Centering pass is picked off in front by Callender, and out comes Schutt. Schutt trying to move on in on the left wing with a high shot, and that one glances off Pang, knocks him down, the puck in the crowd, and Callender quickly over to see if Pang is all right, and apparently Pang gave him the high sign. And now Callender goes in. We've got a little bit of a ruckus forming, as you see here, and the linesmen try to quell it before it gets started.
Well, Kevin Robinson in there pushing Jocko Callender a little bit. Now we have Robinson was doing a little stick work with Schutt, the two of them waving the blades at one another, and I think they're going to both get penalties. You know,
I don't know, maybe not.
Play with the shot just grazing Pang's headgear is a good thing he only was 5'5", because another 2 inches he would have been out cold.
Boy, you really do feel that even if you're wearing headgear, don't you?
No question about it. You know, that puck is like a rock, and it goes, you know, 100 to 120 miles an hour out there. I don't care what you're wearing, it's still going to hurt. I've seen pucks split those masks and those cages, literally split them.
We are just 25 seconds before Milwaukee's penalty expires, and they'll go on the power play in an abbreviated fashion. Anholt starting out for Milwaukee. It's still 4-2 for Muskegon as Anholt penetrates the zone, sends it in. Dufour wraps it up the boards for Gruel, and he'll clear it. 3:10 remaining in this third period. Darren Pang shovels it across, and the Admirals move out. Hamala with 1 second to go before the power play, and it's now in operation. Third power play for the Admirals. They have 1 goal, and the puck is knocked down by Gruel. He's got an open lane. Out he goes, 1 man back. Gruel with a shot off of Boyd's stick, high one into the crowd. 14 seconds are all that are left before the penalty expires to Koroll, and just 2:52 in this third period as the Muskegon Lumberjacks try to salt away their 22nd victory of the season and 15th of the year at home.
Well, the Muskegon Lumberjacks have been just devastating here at home to the opposition on their way to their 15th victory. You know, to win in this league or any league, Hal, you have to win your home games.
Yep, and that's something that hadn't been happening to Muskegon for a while, but now with the change in personnel, ownership, coaching, and you name it, nicknames, uniform colors, it certainly has paid dividends. At center ice, here is Scott Gruel. Now it's on a cross for Poudrier, and he'll fire it all the way down ice. That ends up on the goal of Darren Pang. 2:35 to go. Mark Hatcher for Milwaukee sends it ahead. It's stopped by Molly and cleared back into the Milwaukee zone again. Now the Lumberjacks are just set to dump the puck in and let the time tick itself away. Randy Boyd going back after it for Milwaukee. On a cross for Frere. Molly hooking on Frere as they move in. Frere's bounce pass behind Hamala. Doug Kyle has it behind his goal. They crisscross deep in the zone as you see Molly, and he's got Kalinski, or should say McMurtry, all over him. They finally dig the puck loose for an instant, freeze it, and finally get the whistle with 1:55 left.
Well, with under 2 minutes to play, it's, unless there's a miracle, the Muskegon Lumberjacks are more than likely going to win this hockey game. But once again, the Milwaukee Admirals have played a very fine hockey game here this afternoon, coming into Muskegon and being down a couple of 2-3 players, losing one during the course of the hockey game. Flo Robidoux, their center. They gave the Lumberjacks a good run for their money.
So it is taken by Lube, given a shut, and out to the center ice area with Steve Blythe taking control. Bounces loose, and Anholt heads it in for Robinson, who has both of the Milwaukee goals in this one. Now the puck sent to Zemlak. His pass meant for Callender, and Jock Callender recovers in time to give it to Rusin. Now the Lumberjacks playing a little keep away here for a few seconds. Callender with 1.5 minutes left on the clock and a 4-2 lead on the board. Trying to move in. He is stopped by Blythe, and the puck is cleared out. Mike Rusin backing in. Now gives it to Shutt. On a cross for Rich Zemlak. Anholt, number 2, goes back to check him. It's kept in the zone now. Callender gives it ahead. It rolls in front of the goal, but it's cleared again by Blythe. 1:08 minutes to go. Blythe trying to work off the holding job being done on him by Shutt. Now Zemlak takes the puck and dumps it in. With 1 minute to play, Jock Callender is going to amble on in for Muskegon. Send it in front, and Polensky's got it back. Again to Blythe. Blythe in the center ice area. Flips it high, and it's going to bounce wide. Daniel Poudrier. Now to Kyle for Muskegon as they move out. Ed Rossio in some traffic. Still has the puck and shoots it on in, as again the Lumberjacks are content to just get rid of the puck and let the Admirals chase it and have to skate 200 feet to get a scoring chance. It comes back to Poudrier. Bounces it in front. The light went on, but the puck did not go in. The puck was actually deflected by Kyle on net, but not in the net.
No, that puck hit the goalpost, and we're going to get a look at it here. It went back to the point. Now, Poudrier kept it in, shot it, went along the ice, hit a skate in front, hit the post, went across the goal line, hit the goaltender's Darren Pang skate, and came out in front. And let's get a good look at it here. Hits the pipe, hits the skate, nope, never went across the line.
25 seconds left now, and back comes McMurtry, ripping a shot toward the goal, and Dufour is going to hang on to it and hold on to it with only 19 seconds remaining in the third period, and the Muskegon Lumberjacks look like they're about ready to put away a victory on home ice before an undermanned Admirals team that certainly was a game Admirals team.
It certainly was, and the Lumberjacks battled back from a 2-goal deficit. Now see their record climbed to 22 wins, 15 losses, and 2 ties for 46 points.
So back of the net, Greg Tebbett sends it around the boards. It's held in by McMurtry and floated toward the goal. And again, Dufour holds on to it and lets 7 more seconds tick away on the clock.
Well, the Admirals have nothing to be ashamed of tonight. Just simply was the fact that the Lumberjacks had more personnel, and they just went out there and used it to their advantage, and Milwaukee just folded under.
Just 12 seconds remain now as they get set to line up for this face-off. Krenzing against Craig Hamala will do the honors. Krenzing with a goal and an assist. His goal tied the game on the power play in the opening minute 59 of this third period. And from then on, it's basically been all Lumberjacks. Krenzing on the draw, kicks it free. Now it's taken and cleared by Poudrier. Chasing is Rossio, and that'll waste away the time as Rossio fired one wide. It's on the twine back of the net, and the time will run out. There's the horn, and the hockey game is over. And it's a home ice victory for the Muskegon Lumberjacks, who record their 3rd victory of the season over the Milwaukee Admirals. And this is the 5th game between the teams in the series. And Michel Dufour getting the congratulations from his teammates as he skates off a winning goaltender. And for Michel Dufour, it'll be his 12th win of the season. Our final score here this afternoon at the L.C. Walker Sports Arena in Muskegon, Michigan, is the Muskegon Lumberjacks 4 and the Milwaukee Admirals 2. We continue with the International Hockey League here on Pro-Am Sports in just a moment.
With all their might, so to speak, with all the talent and all the players, as the Admirals were a few players short tonight, but still, you know, the Admirals gave a good account of themselves. The Muskegon Lumberjacks came from behind, picked up a very important home ice victory, and gained a little ground on the Flint Generals.
Well, of course, it was Kevin Robinson who was putting on a show at the start as he picked up both of the game's first 2 goals. One at 15:41 of the first period to actually be the only goal scored in that first period. Florent Robidoux, the captain of the Admirals, setting up the goal and then going out with the injury that kept him out of the game for the final 40 minutes. Robinson back with a power play goal at 9:55 of the second to make it 2-0 before suddenly the Lumberjacks got life, with Tim Reinowitz scoring at 17:13 to close the period out at a 2-1 score on the board. And then it was all Lumberjacks in the third period. Krenzing's power play goal at 1:59 tied the game at 2. Neil Heredia with the close-in goal at 7:50 off a Doug Kyle feed made it 3-2 for the Lumberjacks, and then they just salted it away just a few seconds later when Rod Schutz fired a bullet from about 50 feet that eluded the gloved hand of Darren Pang. Schutz 18th of the year, and it was a 4-2 final score. So obviously the Lumberjacks continued to be playing very, very well before the home fans, and as you said during the broadcast, Steve, that's important in this league. You've got to win your home games and let the road games kind of take care of themselves.
And they usually do, especially if you have a good team. The Lumberjacks have won 7 and lost 10 and tied 2. They now go into Salt Lake City all next week for a big 3-game swing out to the west. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Muskegon Lumberjacks, who trail the first-place Flint Generals by 2 points, can gain ground, because they have 3 big road games coming up after this afternoon's game.
So we hope you enjoyed this one here this afternoon, and I'd like to remind you to tune in tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. as Pro-Am Sports presents exciting college basketball action. The Marquette Warriors invade Reed Fieldhouse in Kalamazoo to take on the Western Michigan Broncos, live only on Pass. Now for Steve Miskevich, this is Hal Moss saying good afternoon from Muskegon, Michigan. And once again, the final score of today's game is the Muskegon Lumberjacks 4, the Milwaukee Admirals 2. The executive producer of Pro-Am Sports is William Glenn. Our senior producer is Michael Smith. Today's game was produced by Christine Accavetti and directed by William Glenn. Our associate producers are Carolyn Mellon, Jim Holly, and Jerry Hausfeld. This has been a presentation of Pro-Am Sports.